We're live. We got the 3, 2, 1. We are here in Joao Pessoa, Brazil. And guess how we've been spending the last couple minutes? We've been counting to 10.
We're working on our Portuguese.
We're working on it. I'm Travis Mawerder. I'm joined again by my good friend Kyle Friend. And before we get into it, I want to give an extra shout out to Kyle Friend. How long did it take you to get here?
It was about 34 hours. It took me overall trip here from Italy. I was on a little family vacation. Left that early to come be here with you guys. And it was a little bit of a trip, but it's fine. It's all worth it. First time to Brazil. I'm excited to be here.
Welcome, or as they say in Portuguese, bem-vindo to Brazil. We already have Christmas setups out here. That's how big this event is. The first FIVB or Beach Pro Tour event in Joao Pessoa came in 1996, took a hiatus. The next one was in 2023, an all-Brazilian final for the women, Ana Patricia and Duda against Carol and Barbara. That one went, of course, to AP and Duda, as most do. And so we are back again in Joao Pessoa. So it has a brief history here on the Beach Pro Tour, but it has a lengthy history in the overall sport of beach volleyball. It has held an event annually every year since 1991 on the domestic Brazilian tour. And of course, it was home to a couple men you may recognize, Ricardo and Zamarco, the silver medalists of the 2000 Olympic Games. It was home to Ricardo and Emmanuel, who won gold in the 2004 Olympic Games. So it has a storied history. It is now home to 20 professional beach volleyball players in Brazil, including George Wanderley and Andre Loyola and Andressa Cavalcanti. Renato and Vitor Felipe, who we just saw qualify in that booth right over there with his new guy, Guto. Fun new partnership. Super boy.
He looked good out here in these conditions. Nice to see him out here competing, and a good win for them. And it's not easy to get through these qualifiers, as we know. So many good teams in Brazil. The field is always stacked.
Always stacked, and it is especially stacked with some home teams on the women's side. There are 6 Brazilian women's teams directly into the main draw. That is the most of any single federation in an event this season. The previous 2, 4 by, of course, Brazil in Tepic, and 4 by, of course, Brazil in Brasilia. Now, it is not the record. There were 9 Brazilian women's teams in the main draw of Uberlandia of 2022. So no records were broken, but it is 6 Brazilian women's teams directly into the main draw. And Kyle, the top 3 seeds are all Brazilian women.
All Brazilian women, and Ana Patricia and Duda just dropped out. AP with a little bit of a back injury. So that moves up some other teams here in the main draw. Tamela and Victoria, number 2. Carol and Barbara, number 1. The third team,
Agatha and Rebecca.
Agatha on that retirement tour, playing some of her last events. If you saw some of Hamburg, we got to sit down with her and Laura, which was so awesome. She's going to play this one. Supposed to play Rio as well. Looking to make a statement. Not that she needs to make a statement. She's already established herself as one of the best of all time. But yeah, 3 of the best teams in the world right here in Joao Pessoa.
And these blue stands are going to be
packed.
They were packed for the qualifier. Brazil, I cannot say enough kind words about the atmosphere provided in Brazilian events. I was in Recife earlier this year, was in Saquarema, commentated Brasilia. The Brazilian fans show up, and they will be especially showing up because you have, as we mentioned, a lot of talent coming in on the women's side at home in Brazil. But Kyle, with the withdrawal of Ana Patricia and Duda, it makes for what I think is one of the more wide open Elite 16s we've seen this season.
Yes, I agree. And it makes it an available opportunity for a lot of teams to get a good finish here.
Listen, we got some guys who want to be on the video too, and that's okay. Why wouldn't you want to be on the live stream?
You know, making sure everything's right for the event. It's all part of the plan. Thanks for sticking with us. But like you said, open field. You have the best team in the world not here right now. And so probably a little extra pride for some of these Brazilian teams to show out in front of their crowd. For me personally, Tamela Victoria coming off their 3rd place finish in Hamburg just a couple months ago, kind of hopefully using that momentum, new partnership, using that momentum, maybe hopefully get a good finish here in Joao Pessoa.
Their dark horse for sure. Victoria's first Elite 16 medal came in Hamburg. It was Tamela's 2nd medal at an Elite 16, the other one being a silver at the Cape Town Elite 16 with the legend herself, Agatha. And so they're a very bright future for that young team. Are there any other dark horses we're looking at on the women's side? I do want to give a shout out to our good friends Lexie and Dianna Kraft. Both American women's teams did qualify. Lexie and Dianna, they played in one challenger, first ever challenger. They qualified. That was in Star Jablonki, and then come out first Elite 16. Why not make the main draw again? So a huge congratulations to them. And American fans are very familiar with their talents. Lexie was a star standout at UCLA. Dianna was a standout at Pepperdine, two of the historically strong and powerful NCAA programs in the United States. But for international fans who are not yet accustomed to seeing them, Lexie is fantastic, as is Dianna. So enjoy your introduction to those two American talents right there.
Yeah, and another team I'll throw in there is Lithuania.
Yes.
I'm expecting, they're always so dangerous to play against because of the defensive capability of that team and the blocking and the defense. And so I'm curious to see how they come out here in this event and maybe put on, not as good of an Olympics as we expected from them. Didn't play to the level I think they expected. And so I'm hoping they come out here and put some pressure on some of these Brazilian teams, and stand up for the teams from Europe.
And Lithuania, Monika Polakina, Aina Rapalaita. I love that team, especially Monika in these conditions.
Yeah.
We have relatively deepish sand, so on a scale of 1 to Hermosa, 1 to Espino and Hermosa being 10 on the deepest sand in the world, meaning it's the most difficult to move around and jump in. This is about, I'd say, a 7.
Yeah.
You throw in deep sand, plus it is windy conditions. Oof. It's swirly, it's coming off the ocean. I would say a steady 15 to 20 miles an hour with 25-mile-an-hour gusts.
And that just levels the playing field with this wind. Watching some of these qualifier matches, the ball is here and then it's there. And if you don't have very good feet to ball in these conditions, then you're not going to be in a good side-out rhythm. The side-out percentages are going to go down, which means more defensive points opportunity, which means even leveling it out. Seeing anything can happen.
Leveling an already even playing field on the women's side.
Yes.
Now the men's side, I think, is a very different look, whereas the women's side, it's a bit wide open because we are missing a number of the top teams in the world. The men's side is quite the opposite. We are seeing Sweden's David Ahlman, Jonathan Helvig for the first time since they won gold at the Paris Olympic Games. Huge congratulations to them.
Congratulations.
We are seeing Anders Mol and Christian Storm again coming off their gold medal at the Hamburg Elite16. And so I think we're all excited. I think everyone feels a little bit robbed that we didn't see a Norway-Sweden Olympic gold medal match.
Yes.
And I think everyone wants to see that here in Joao Pessoa.
Think about the pressure for those guys, for Norway. I feel like more pressure was on Norway in the Olympics to prove that they still got it.
Yep.
I think everyone expected Sweden to be in the finals, at least I did, just because of how good they've had performed. 6 straight victories since to peak Elite 16 for Sweden,
Insane.
Which is unbelievable. And so, yeah, just the pressure for those teams to have to come out, and when you have the target on your back for so long, for 5 years, as Norway has, 6 years, you've got to rise to that every single time, and they do that consistently. So like you said, curious to see in these conditions, which the jump setting, is it gonna be more challenging in these conditions? Possibly. I
was wondering where you're going to go. Yeah.
It's like,
at this point, they can jump set in anything.
They can jump set in anything. You would think it would be harder, but for those boys for Sweden, it seems like the conditions, it does not matter. They're going to run their system and they're going to be very effective.
Very effective, and a different condition, bit on the mental, emotional side. We'll go to George Wanderley and Andre Loyola, announced earlier prior to this tournament that they will be finishing this season out together and then ending their 6-year partnership. We had the chance to chat with George in Stade, and we know that George and Andre, they're best friends.
Yeah.
They were the best men in each other's weddings, had a great 6 years together, a ton of medals. And so this is kind of, it's the reverse honeymoon phase almost, where George said, we're really happy with each other. We've had a great partnership, and now they're just trying to go out on a high note. And Kyle, how do you think that is going to impact their performance on the court this weekend?
Yeah, I would imagine there's a little bit of some lightness on their side of the net, knowing that we've accomplished kind of everything we want to do, and now we just get to go enjoy the moment. Of course, they're going to want to win, and they want to finish on these high notes. But I have to believe, as being as close as they are and as close as friends as they are, they're just going to go out there and just and ball out and just have a good time and be light. I feel like they're going to put on a show. Not that they don't normally put on a show, because they're absolutely phenomenal team to watch. But I just love George talking about how important it was for him and Andre, the development on the court and off the court, and how that helped them become the team they are. 6 years. It's pretty rare. You don't see that very often in the beach volleyball world. Teams last a year, maybe 2 years, maybe a 4-year quad for the top teams. But to see them together for 6 years, and not only on this sand, 4-time reigning champs of the local Brazilian tour. They just won this past weekend here, so congratulations to the gold medal on that. So I'm feeling they're pretty light, especially after a gold medal just a couple days ago.
And especially, this is their home. This is where they train, this is where they play, this is where George grew up. Watching Emmanuel and Ricardo, watching Ricardo and Zamarco, watching all these greats. And so they're going out on a high note with each other. They're here at home. Home field advantage is huge in sports. I don't think that's any different here in beach volleyball. Now, you have almost the reverse advantage of that in Martins Plavins. First event of the year for Martins Plavins. First Beach Pro Tour event of the year, playing with the 19-year-old Christian Svokarats. And I say first Beach Pro Tour event of the year because, of course, what was his only event of the year professionally? The European Championships. Comes off the reserve list. What does he do? Well, he just wins the whole thing.
Wins the whole thing. Martins Plavins, 39 years young.
39 years young, three-time Olympian.
Surgery, knee surgery, maybe 2 years ago. So still coming back to full form, I think, from that. But
still got it.
Still got it. Unbelievable what he can do with the ball, with the touch, and credit to his partner, Christian, who is an absolute baller.
19.
19. And he's an undersized blocker, in my opinion. Probably be a World Tour defender, no question, and we'll probably see him for a very long time. But right now he's blocking for the legend, Martins Plavins. And what can they do here? You know, can they come out? Plavins is fresh. He's only had one tournament this year. Pretty fresh.
I'm excited. As similar to we talked about how Dianna Kraft and Lexie Denenberg, a lot of people haven't seen them outside the U.S. If you have not seen Christian Svokarats play just yet, you are in for a treat, because it's not as if no one played in the European Championships. Now, granted, Sweden didn't play and Norway didn't play, but guess who they beat in the gold medal match? Nils Ehlers and Clemens Wickler, one of the hottest teams in the world, who are just podium, semifinal podium. It was a legit win. There's nothing to take away from that. So he is a sensational talent. Plavins, nothing more needs to be said about him. 39 years old, three-time Olympian, Olympic bronze medalist in 2008. Just a phenomenal player, been around for a long, long time. And so I'm excited to watch them play. Kyle, that's all I got on the card.
I think that's it. Qatar also here.
Qatar is here.
Yeah, Sharif and
Shout
Ahmed.
out to Sharif.
Saw them a little
Said
bit
hello
ago,
at
having
dinner.
Just awesome guys, and you know they're going to put on a show wherever they go. Pure entertainment, pure class from those guys. So look for them to push some of these Brazilian teams here in the main draw.
I'm excited. Beach volleyball is back, ladies and gentlemen. The fall push begins now. We are here in Joao Pessoa, then we go to Rio, and then we got the Beach Pro Tour Finals in Doha. Got a few challenges mixed in. We're back.
So pumped.
Shoot.
See you guys. Thank you.